joining me for today's video, which is going to be a cruelty-free makeup tutorial. So this here is the finished look, and the products that I used are all against animal testing and cruelty-free. So it's something that I've been, as I said, wanting to film for quite some time. I am a huge animal lover, and I have been a lot more conscious recently as to whether the brands that I'm using are against animal testing. I love animals of all kinds, and the thought of animal testing makes me really freaking angry. Sadly, I cannot cut all brands that do test on animals out of my routine because I do feel like it would be a bit hypocritical. I do eat meat, I do wear leather, those are lifestyle choices that I've made, so I do feel like it would be hypocritical of me to say I'm not going to use makeup or skincare that tests on animals. I have found myself recently being a lot more conscious, making purchase decisions on brands that I'm more familiar that do not do animal testing, and I have been very, very pleasantly surprised to see that a lot of my favourite brands and products that I use on a daily basis are against animal testing. So the purpose of this video is to share with you a few of my favourite brands and products that are cruelty-free and show you how you can create a beautiful makeup look without using products that have been tested on animals. Before I get started, just a few notes on things that I have really discovered while researching cruelty-free brands. Firstly, there is a little bit of kind of blurred lines when it comes to companies and their parent companies. So a lot of brands such as Urban Decay, even like BareMinerals, they are, as a brand, they are completely against animal cruelty. They do not allow any of their suppliers to test on animals. They do not test on animals themselves, but potentially the company that owns them, so whether it's L'Oreal or Shiseido, they do work with brands that do test on animals. So there's a little bit of, as I said, blurred lines when it comes to those brands, but in this video I have included those brands because the brands themselves do not test on animals. In a lot of cases, like for example Urban Decay, when they sold to L'Oreal, they said we will not allow our products to be tested on animals, and they stuck to their guns. So well done Urban Decay, BareMinerals, for sticking to your guns. Then of course, sorry about the lighting by the way, I'm using natural light today. Then of course there are products that are sold in China. If a product is sold in China, to the best of my knowledge, I think that they have to test on animals. It's Chinese law that if a product that is used on your face for your skincare or makeup is sold in China, it has to be tested on animals first. I really don't like that law at all. I think the Chinese government, to be completely honest, I think it's a horrible government. I just don't like what goes on in that country, and that's not me being racist. A lot of what happens in China makes me feel very sick, and I'm not going to go into that, and please don't write that kind of stuff in the comments because it really upsets me. But yeah, any of these brands that are sold in China, those products have been tested on animals, but here in Europe, and I'm sure in the US too, the products have not been tested on animals. It's just the batch that are sold in China. But yeah, so today's video is me using a few of my favourite brands which are all cruelty-free to create this makeup look. So I really hope you like this look, and if you'd like to see how I created it, then carry on watching. First of all, I'm going to start off with my skincare, and I am using 3 products, all of which are cruelty-free. First of which is the Yes To coconut wipes. I absolutely love these because firstly they're cruelty free, secondly they smell amazing. I love this tiny packet, it's great for travelling. They keep really fresh because of this fancy little opening section. So I started by cleansing my face with the face wipes. I have, as you know if you watched yesterday's video, recently had my eyes tattooed just a couple of days ago, so I have to use face wipes or micellar water on a cotton pad at the moment because I cannot get any water or makeup near my eyebrows. So these are really good at the moment for me, just to be really precise with where I cleanse. Then I'm using the BareMinerals Smart Combination Smoothing Lightweight Emulsion, and I find that this gives me a really good skin day. I love BareMinerals as a brand. Everything they stand for I just absolutely adore, and this is a fantastic product. So this is what I applied, just patted it all over my face next. And finally, because my skin is fairly dehydrated at the moment, I went in with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, and this is a product that I've known about and loved for such a long time. I'm pretty far into it, I've nearly finished it sadly, but it's great for dry skin. It's a really luxurious and moisturising product and great base for makeup. So those are 3 skincare products that I used. Now prepare yourself for my makeup-free face. I'm just warning you, my eyebrows are fairly bold when I don't have any makeup on. So you've been warned, and I hope you enjoy the makeup tutorial. The first thing I'm going to use on my face is the By Terry Cellulose Moisturising CC Cream, and according to my internet research, By Terry do not test on animals and none of their suppliers test on animals on their behalf. By Terry sell in Hong Kong, but they do not sell in mainland China, so all signs are pointing in the right direction for animal testing. But of course, if you do know anything different, the websites that I looked at, the last time they'd been updated was in 2014, so let me know if you do know anything different. I'm going to blend that in using my beauty blender, and I'm going to spritz this with my vitamin E face mist from the Body Shop. And Body Shop itself is against animal testing, however its parent company is not, so I guess it depends how you look at it, but I'm gonna call Body Shop a cruelty-free brand because they themselves do not condone testing on animals. So my skin is fairly bad today. I've got quite a few spots. My eyes are really red. I don't know why. I think maybe I'm getting a little bit of hay fever. So I'm having to use quite a bit of the CC cream, which in itself is quite light. So I'm just going to blend this in, and then I'm probably going to put in another layer of coverage. So having applied the By Terry Cellulose all over my face, it's given a really lovely light coverage, but I do still have some areas of redness and I'm a little bit shiny, so I'm going to go in with a concealer for those little blemish marks. And I'm going to use the Origins Plant-Scription Concealer, which is an absolute favourite of mine, so obviously I'm really pleased that this is against animal cruelty. So I'm just tapping that onto my skin and using my finger to blend that one in. I'm also going to bring this over my eyelids because I really like the consistency of the Plant-Scription Concealer as a base for my eyeshadow. So I could use an eyeshadow primer, but I find that the concealer works just as well, and it gives a really nice colour, just a really flat colour to start building the eye makeup on. And then because I do want to create a little bit more of a mattified look, a little bit higher coverage, because my skin isn't at its best at the moment, I'm going to use a new launch from BareMinerals, and this is their Bare Pro Powder Foundation. So this is brand new, and the aim is to build coverage without looking cakey. That's what their whole idea behind this one is, and they have brought out their own brush for this. BareMinerals as a whole, they do not test on animals, so this is synthetic brush fibre. So I'm going to apply the brush straight onto the powder. It does have a compact sponge underneath, but I'm going to use the brush. Just going to brush that on there and then apply directly to my skin. So this should add more coverage. As you can see, it is creating, actually it's a little bit too light for me, so I'm going to have to go in with some bronzer. But yeah, this is adding coverage and mattifying without caking up my base, which is what we want. I do like my skin to look like skin after all. So this has given a really lovely, just a mattified effect over the whole of my face. I'm no longer super shiny, but I do have a lovely natural glow. So that's a really nice finish. First impressions of that are really good. This is actually the first time I've tried it. I don't know what is wrong with my under eye bags today. They just seem to be very there today. I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye UnderEye because this is a really good under eye concealer, really strong concealer for the under eye, but again against animal testing. So I've just put a teeny amount on my finger, literally about 1/3 of the size of a grain of rice, and I'm going to blend that and then dot that under the eye. And I'm just going to use my finger to blend that in, and although it doesn't really cure the puffiness, it does get rid of the shadows. And it is a nice strong concealer but with a really good consistency, so it blends into the skin really, really well. I do want to set my under eye concealer in place, so I'm going to use the BareMinerals, I always forget the name of this one, Translucent Powder Duo, and this is a favourite of mine at the moment. It's got a natural and then a glowing powder in there, both of which I love. I'm going to use my Zoeva Fan Brush. Zoeva is against animal testing, but their products aren't completely vegan because obviously they've got some natural hair in some of their brushes. But I'm just swiping this brush across the matte one from the BareMinerals palette and popping that on the areas where my makeup does tend to disappear as the day goes on. So just really setting that in place. And finally for the base, I'm going to bring some colour back into my face with bronzer, and I'm going to use the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in Luminous Bronze Light. I'm so pleased that Hourglass is cruelty free, so yeah, this is one of my favourite bronzers, so really glad that it's cruelty free. Again, I'm using a Zoeva brush. This is my Zoeva powder brush, and as usual, starting on the cheekbones, bringing the colour over the rest of my face. So I always apply bronzer in the areas that the sun would naturally touch my face. I normally start with under the cheekbones and then on my hairline, down my nose, on my chin, just as I said, where the sun would catch it. So once I've done my bronzer, I feel a lot more human, and just to make myself a little bit more comfortable and to prepare for lipstick later on, I'm going to apply a lip balm, and this one is the Pixi Sheer Butter Lip Balm. It does ever so slightly tint the lips, but also it's just a really comfortable lip balm. So I've just applied a little bit of that, and it'll mean that my lips are nice and hydrated, ready for applying lipstick later. What I would normally do next is my eyebrows, but as you guys know, I had them tattooed a couple of days ago, so I don't need to do anything for my brows. However, if I did want to add anything to them, I could use my Anastasia Brow Wiz. Anastasia Beverly Hills do not test on animals, and their Brow Wiz is a favourite product of mine. So before I had my brows done, I did used to be a huge fan of this. So if you're doing your brows, highly recommend the Brow Wiz. So the next thing I'm going to do is my eyeshadow. I already have the Origins Plant Scription Concealer on there as a base. So the next thing I'm going to go in with is the Body Shop Down to Earth Eye Palette. And I actually think that this palette is a really good dupe colour-wise for a lot of Tom Ford palettes. So a lot of these shades are very similar to Tom Ford colours, and I really like it, and I think it's a very good dupe. Of course, Body Shop against animal testing, and I'm going to start off with, I think, this top right hand colour. It's quite a nudie colour. I'm going to wash that all over my eyelid using a Zoeva brush. So I've swept this colour all over my actual eyelids, and I've blended it up towards the brow bone just to give a really lovely neutral base colour. Next I'm going to go in with something a little bit shimmery, and for this I'm actually taking a shade from my Pur Minerals Bronzer, and yeah, I know it's a little bit strange to use a bronzer for your eyeshadow, but this one I really love how it's got all these different lines, and I've been using these two shades here. There's a gold and a bronze colour, and I just find that by picking out these colours they make really beautiful eyeshadows, and Pur Minerals is a really good brand for being against animal testing. So I've taken that same brush and I'm just swiping it across this middle one, and again I'm just going to pop that on the actual lid, taking it right into the corners to give my eyes a bit of a pop. I just find this such a flattering colour, very summery, but also will go down really well in autumn as well because it's quite a warm shade. And then I like to take a slimmer brush. This one is the Zoeva Luxe Precise Shader. I'm taking the same colour and just bringing it underneath my lower lash line as well. And then taking the shade below, this is a slightly more bronze colour, a little bit less on my brush, and I'm going to put this in the crease. Next, to add even more depth to my eyes, I'm going to use a shade from the Zoeva, sorry it's so disgustingly dirty, from the Zoeva Nude Spectrum eyeshadow palette. I think I'm going to go for a slightly warmer one, so this one here is ND120, oh no, it's ND090, numbers are above it, not below it. So just using the same brush again, I don't need to worry about using a clean brush every time, just the tiniest little bit on there, and I'm going to apply this into the corners. This just adds another shade and really helps to build up a very natural smoky eye, really blendable as well. Only need a small bit on your brush that will do two eyes. And finally I'm going to blend with my Zoeva Luxe Soft Crease Brush, just to blend all the colours into one. Ever since I tried this product, I have been absolutely obsessed with it, and thankfully Illamasqua also do not test against animals. I'm afraid I do not know the exact name of this product, it doesn't have any writing on it, but it is a pink sparkly eyeshadow from Illamasqua. You hardly need anything from this to create a really beautiful shimmer on your eyes. So using that same brush, just rolling it onto the product, pick up a little bit of the shimmer, and I'm going to apply this direct to the eyelids. I just think this is absolutely gorgeous. Just the tiniest amount really adds so much shimmer to the eye. I hope the camera is picking this up, but it's just really added a beautiful, I mean it is subtle, you could definitely build this up to make it really sparkly, but I'm not about big sparkly eyes, so the amount of shimmer that this gives is just absolutely perfect. I think it's such a beautiful way of adding a bit of shimmer into your everyday look, so I'm really happy with how the eyes look now. Hopefully I'll be able to give you some close-ups at the end because I feel like you can't really see from this far away. Next I'm going to apply mascara, and my cruelty-free mascara, where is it, is from Benefit. Benefit are against animal testing, hurrah, and I'm going to use their Roller Lash Mascara. I do, however, believe that Benefit is sold in China, and as I was saying earlier, any products that are sold in China do have to have been tested on animals by law, so that means that they're not completely against animal testing. If they were, they wouldn't sell in China, but the products that we buy here in the UK, in America, they are most definitely free from animal cruelty. So Roller Lash is one of my all-time favourite mascaras. I find that I don't need lash curlers when I use it. I can just apply it straight onto my lashes. But also, of course, Too Faced is against animal testing as well, and their Better Than Sex is also a really good mascara if you're looking for a great cruelty-free mascara. So there we go, just a couple of layers of the Roller Lash mascara, and my lashes are looking rather amazing if I do say so myself. Every time I use this I'm just blown away with how great it is. So that's mascara done. Next I'm going to move to the lips. I couldn't decide between these two products for my lips, so I'm going to try using both of them. First one is my Bite Beauty Amaretto Matte Creme Lip Cream. It's the world's longest name. Bite Beauty is a brand which I always pick up when I go to America, and this is my favourite product, probably my top lip product of all time, so I'm really pleased that it is against animal testing. It's just the easiest thing in the world to apply. You can apply it over lip balm, you can apply it on its own, then lip balm over the top if you've got dry lips, or just on its own, and it's such a beautiful colour, easy to apply, it's roll up so it never needs sharpening or anything. Beautiful colour that just lasts so long, so I'm a really big fan of this. This is pretty much my essential lip colour. So this is how my lips look just with the Bite Beauty on them. It is fairly natural, you could build this up a little bit more for a bit more colour, but this, as you guys know, is just such a staple lip colour for me. I wear this 99% of the time, but to shake things up a little bit, I'm also going to apply a layer of Charlotte Tilbury Hepburn Honey. Such a fan of Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, and the brand as a whole. That makeup artist can do no wrong in my eyes. So I'm going to make this look a little bit more nude with the Hepburn Honey shade. Colour-wise, it's not all that different to just wearing the matte, the Bite Matte Creme Lip Crown, but I do slightly prefer the consistency of the Charlotte Tilbury, so it's really lovely to blend the two. Now I could stop here, but I'm going to apply a little bit of blush and highlight just because my eyes are very neutral colours, my lips are quite neutral, so I'm going to add that pop of colour to my cheeks. For blush, I'm going to start with a new product from Pixi, Pixi by Petra, and this is their Multi Balm. I've got the shade Baby Petal, which is a really beautiful, very wearable pink shade. It's not too girly, like it's not too peachy pink, it's quite a neutral pink, and I'm going to take one of my Zoeva brushes just to lightly swipe over that. I've not used this before on my cheeks, so I'm not sure how it's going to come out, so I'm just going quite carefully here. What I love about this kind of consistency is that it really does look natural on the cheeks, so let's just apply that to the apples of my cheeks. That is such a lovely natural colour. Hopefully the camera is picking it up, but just a really beautiful natural flush. Just going to blend that in all the way up to my ear. Oh, I love this shade so much. I think this is the favourite blush that I've tried in such a long time, and because it's cream it blends just so easily as well. These multi-balms you can use on your lips too, but I think that this cheek colour is just absolutely stunning. Really happy with how that looks. I don't know if this is like a normal thing to do, but I do always like to apply a little bit of powder blush after cream blush, because in my mind it sets it and it just adds a little bit more intensity to the colour. So I'm going to use another blush from Zoeva, and this is from their Rose Golden blush set. So you've got contour, highlight and blush, and I just love the blush shade. I do use, where is it, my Zoeva Fan Brush. I use this so much. Just going to swipe that over there. This does act as highlight as well because it does have that shimmer in it, but I am going to use a separate highlighter afterwards as well. So this, I feel, just kind of sets in that cream blush. I've just added the tiniest amount of that. And then to finish, where is my Mary Luminizer? I'm going to use this one, the ultimate blogger favourite highlighter from the Balm, which is, again, cruelty free. Brush wise, you guessed it, going to use my fan brush again. I don't really find that, because I don't use that much product on it, I'm always very light-handed with it. It doesn't really transfer from one to the next, so I'm not going to be getting blusher in my highlight area, but just lightly swiping that over and then patting that onto my upper cheekbone to add that very natural shimmer. Also, whatever's left on the brush, just under the eyebrows. And there we go, we are done. So honestly, I think this is probably one of the favourite makeup looks I've created in a long time, and I'm so pleased that all of these brands are cruelty free. As a makeup look, I just absolutely love it. It makes you realise that you really can create the look that you want without using any brands that do animal testing. Sadly, in this day and age it does still happen. but we can get the look that we want without using those brands. So really hope you guys enjoyed this video. As I mentioned earlier, I'm filming this in August 2012, so if you're watching this in a year or 2 years time, then some things might have changed. More brands are hopefully going to be cruelty free. Some of these brands sadly may no longer be cruelty free, who knows, but all of this information, to the best of my knowledge, is true at this time, so hopefully you guys appreciate that. But as always, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, then please give it a lovely big thumbs up. I would also love to know your favourite cruelty-free beauty brands, any that I haven't mentioned. Please let me know in the comments below what your favourite brands are, because I'd love to try using a few more brands that are cruelty-free. If you're new here, please do subscribe. This month I'm making a video every single day, which is crazy, but normally I make 3 videos a week. So click that little subscribe button if you'd like to see more from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!
I don't like brands and testing.